Yo, let me tell y'all about it. Welcome to the Pot and Politics Podcast. I'm your host, Sean G's Waters. To the right of me, I have Sean Waters II, our production manager. To the right of him, we have Christian Kaiser. To the right of him, we have M. Brown. To the left of him, we have Dewan. To the left of him, we have Rocky. And then welcome back to Jennifer as well. So, how's everybody doing this week?
Doing good.
Pretty good.
I'm sure you guys know I spent my week on the road. I was able to keep up with some of the DNC, but that's about it, other than, what I could catch on CNN here and there. So, I've been a traveling circus. What's everybody else been going on with?
Work, life, and politics.
Yeah.
Same.
The DNC was really. I found it really inspiring. I think my favorite speech was Michelle Obama's. I think she just hit it out the park. I really wish the DNC. I've joked with my sisters that I stayed up and I tried watching them when they were like live and happening at night. But you'd stay up until like 1:00 in the morning watching them. So then one morning I watched it. I slept that night and woke up and watched it 8:00 in the morning and ended up crying my eyes out and needing a nap. So that's why they do it at night, so you can just go to bed. But yeah, I mean, I thought when you compare the Republican convention to the Democratic convention and the messaging and just what it looked like, just the diversity difference and the messaging difference, it's really hard for me to think that anybody would want to vote for the Trump Vance ticket at this point.
Okay. Yeah, I can go for that. Speaking of the DNC, for me, believe it or not, and I'm normally a hater when it comes to this type of shit, I gotta call myself on it. But what's Kamala's husband, Doug? What's his last name?
Doug Einhoff.
And hope.
Yo,
No.
I'm gonna tell you what. That motherfucker love the hell out that woman.
Yeah.
Anybody listen to that dude's speech, I wanted to be like, you old simp ass punk, but I'm like, damn, that white boy just love the hell out that system.
Yeah.
I think
And-
that's the theme of the DNC.
Right.
It was love.
Love, right.
Love
Yeah.
versus there. I mean, there was a lot of anger and hate at the other one. I watched the other one too, and it was all negativity. It was all hate. It was all what was wrong with the country. What's bad. No hope. Not what they
Right.
were going to do to fix any of
Right.
the bad. Just a lot of finger pointing and gloom. And then this was a celebration.
Right.
It was fun to watch. It was like. It was a good time. Little John lit it up.
Uh-huh.
When
Oh,
he
yeah,
came down the steps, I mean, it felt it. I said it last time. It has more energy than the Obama feeling, but man, that
Yeah.
Obama energy, I feel it again. I feel it's inspiring people. People feel like there's hope. We can get past a very dark time for this country. Not just I'm not just talking about the administration, but I mean COVID. I mean, I don't
Right.
care how you looked at it. It's a rough time. That was a weird time in history that
speaking
we'll be
of that-
studying what we went through for a long
Speaking of
time.
that, it's
there.
coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
heard
It
That's
never went
yeah.
away.
They're talking
Did
about
it go
closing
away?
schools again.
They already
Did it go
did.
away?
They closed my
Waynesboro was
grandson's preschool for a whole
Yeah.
week last week.
Well, and that's because of staff shortage. So they don't have the substitute teachers. They don't have, and so think of that. We have made public schools teaching is such a political thing. People don't even want to substitute teach anymore. They don't want to put up with the bullshit that they've got to put up with. So it's like,
And from my personal experience, my children thrived. I'm sorry
Yeah.
that people had a hard time. I'm sorry
Mhm.
that they had a hard time getting their children to learn in that environment. But my children never missed the beat.
yeah,
And the only thing more was I'm a farmer. I'm at home, and I got to have my kids home for. I mean, doesn't happen in life anymore
Right,
for us. We
right.
all work. We work away from our families, and as negative and as horrible as it is, I did find a very silver lining in
For
it because
sure.
I really
A lot of
enjoyed.
people
I really
Yeah.
enjoyed my family.
Yeah, I mean,
I enjoyed my kids. I got to know them so much better than I would have, and
Mhm.
we're close now because of it. And yeah, they did great in school. They're not big fans of going anyway, so.
right.
I'm pretty sure that they missed their friend. By the time they went back, trust me, they really wanted to go back
Yeah.
because of the social environment, and just having the structure they
Mhm.
needed it. But I'd have never went back.
Oh no shit.
I'd have
Hell
never,
yeah.
never. Sorry, hated it too bad. They gave me that window. I'd have been like, oh well, got a job now. So
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
sorry to stray on that comment, but
Yeah.
All right, so where were we at?
See that hash?
DNC.
We'll talk about that soon.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna get into that because that's just already thrown me.
Yeah, the
off a little
DNC was
bit.
fun though, man. It was a good time. It was well produced. It flowed very well from night to night up to the end. I was disappointed about Beyonce and Taylor Swift
Right.
show.
Well, that was some bullshit.
I
I
followed
know.
Twitter and they told me Taylor's plane landed. I'm not even a fan. I'm just some old man, but I was ready.
Right.
I was ready for this
Yep.
woman to show up and
Yes.
throw it down.
Yes.
Yeah, what was the Democrat dude said? You know that it rhymes with Beyonce. Yo, you know, because I'm driving, I'm listening to it on
But
Sirius XM.
She says that she never agreed to sing it.
Yeah, she was never actually scheduled to be there.
Just because she let the music play.
Any consolation, it was the Republican speakers that
Yeah.
actually still
Yeah.
have the guts.
They-
What's the guy's name?
Up
Yeah,
in the country.
Yeah.
Ben Sing. Yeah. Yeah, he was pretty deep. I liked him. I liked his speech a lot. But yeah, like I said, Harris's husband did it for me.
What was she? She's one of the
Stephanie
earlier
Grisham?
nights.
Stephanie
Yeah.
Grisham.
And when she's like, and then behind y'all's back, he calls you like basement dwellers. Like, just to hear that, like, I'm sure Trump supporters aren't thinking that Trump thinks highly of them. Like, how can they? Because he just talks shit about everybody. But like to hear that, like, how can you support someone that you hear calls you a basement dweller? Like,
I have heard Republicans and business owners try to tell me that literally I should put all of that racist shit, sexist shit, whatever my reasons for not liking him, to the side because I'm a small business owner.
Yeah.
And because of that, he is for me. I'm like, man, get the
He
fuck
is.
out of here. He's for his goddamn self.
that. Like,
But can-
what?
But let me say something though. I mean, you talk to any of these Jay-Z, Dame Dash, any of these rappers from the 90s, they were not giving rappers, and like Diddy's one of them too, banks were not giving them loans. People was telling them go talk to Trump. They come out of Trump Tower with a loan.
I don't know about that.
I
Yeah.
don't know about that either.
It's
never had.
He was giving.
He didn't give a loan to Jay-Z.
Yeah, don't money. Still Rockefeller.
I'm gonna tell you now. I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
Any rapper from the 90s was giving loans out and it was done.
Certainly not Jay-Z.
Nope.
Okay.
Certainly not.
Taking
No
off
way.
page ads in the paper about the Central Park Five. Like,
He did.
there was
After they was innocent.
He still says they did.
Absolutely.
He
He's
still
still out of
says
touch
they-
with
Go
the
ahead, look
black
it up.
community. He would never lend money to the black community.
way.
Roll
I mean,
the
that's-
tapes of him
I mean,
dropping the N word.
You don't hear Trump say anything about the black community until it's election time.
Yeah.
Damn right.
That's the
Oh,
only
facts.
time
Anyways.
that he has a use for black
You're
folks
kicking
and rappers.
people out.
And it's election time. Now he wants to pander to us, and he wants to start letting daggone rappers that's locked up for whatever
But
this,
let's-
that, and the third out of hold on, bro. Letting them out of jail, and you know what I'm saying, just to pander to everybody else. Like, you can't just pander to us daggone once a year or once every 4 years. Like, if you're gonna be for us 365 24/7, not just half-ass when it's. And I mean, the same goes for the Democratic Party. Like, they do the same thing. You don't hear anybody talking about black people until you need to vote.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, there's little recordings of him calling the contestants on the Apprentice the N word.
Yeah.
behind their
Yes.
back. But
Yeah.
Omarosa, Little John, he called him the N word. He has no respect
His
for black.
family
He's
says
never
it.
once showed any movement or respect towards black people in any way. I don't understand where it comes from, where they think he does. He is the typical. His dad was a sitting Klansman. Actually went to the Klan rallies
Yeah.
at Madison Square Garden. This man is a racist. He wants white supremacy.
Uh-huh.
He's one of those fools that think the white men are getting pushed out of America or whatever the hell.
Uh-huh.
And dude, anything he says is pure bullshit and pandering. He is a fucking salesman.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep.
But I'm
And
gonna,
he's selling bullshit.
I can say this. I'm gonna say this. No fucking president has ever been for black people. Not even the black ones. They ain't done a fucking thing for us. We still in the same state we in 400 fucking years ago. We
Yeah,
still
man, I
slaves
agree.
to
You
this
get
day.
that? Yeah.
So I don't give a fuck
Obama
if it's
didn't even hit
Democrat
the
or
mark.
Republican. The system doesn't
Right,
work for us.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
because it wasn't
wasn't
designed
made
for us.
for
Right.
It
We
wasn't designed
definitely
for us.
don't need
It was
someone
made.
coming
No,
in.
let me say this
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
I said
Yes.
that wrong. The
Yes.
system is working.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
doing exactly
Yes.
what it was designed
Yep.
to
To
do.
keep us.
Amen.
It just ain't working for us.
It's designed to keep us in
No,
where we're at.
It's designed to do that.
For
So whether Trump's in there, Kamala, it doesn't matter, Tom, Dick, or Harry.
Right.
If the system ain't changed,
Right.
it doesn't really fucking matter because the president really don't have no power
Right.
anyway.
That's
No.
where your local vote
He's the
matters.
base. That's where the
Jennifer
local
says it
vote.
every
Yeah.
week. I think we've
Right.
done this
Absolutely,
podcast.
it's all
Yeah.
grassroots.
So it's-
Locally, you know the people that have to face you in the street that represent you
Them
are
people
more likely
reading-
to care
them people
about you
reading
than
from
the ones
teleprompters.
that
The
never
actors
see.
Yeah,
for real.
yeah.
There's something that has a ton of power in our local communities that nobody thinks about, and it's the zoning commission.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that is a
absolutely.
volunteer position. You just say, I'll sit on that board. And they say, okay. Like, you don't get paid for it. There's no election. And that board has a lot of power. So when you think of like wanting to make a lot of changes, you're right. Voting for president's not really going to change your life really to the day to day.
Yeah.
But voting for your city council person, your school board, but then also sitting on these boards and commissions, which I know is hard because we all work, we all have families that we want to spend time with, and the last thing we want to do is to go sit in a meeting that we don't get paid for. But like, that's what's important. That's how we make these changes, you know? Imagine if we had a civil police review board that we could be sitting on and making these changes. So,
Absolutely.
you know, elections and voting, of course, is important, but it's more than that. It's the daily, you know, engagements with life in politics.
All right. Well, let me see where we at.
But yeah, I thought the DNC was pretty good. I felt like it was inspiring. It was different than what I thought it was going to be. But I feel like they focused a little too much on Trump. I think it should have
Okay.
been more so focused on the people, policies, things like that. I felt like people was talking about Trump too much. But the
Did
statement
you have a
Obama
favorite
made,
speaker?
Obama,
Yeah.
it was, yeah.
Obama. Yeah. See,
I feel like Michelle.
She did great
Obama,
too.
he definitely should have opened for Michelle.
I'm like,
yeah.
I like
What?
Obama's speech. And
Michelle was dropping nukes.
the reason why I like
Yeah, like we're gonna do something. That's what it, we're gonna do something.
you could tell he couldn't say what he wanted to
Right.
say.
Right. And now he just saying what the
Now
fuck
he
he
just
want to
say what
say.
he want, and I like that.
I want to say Obama too, but
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got to go with Doug, man. Like
But
Doug, I love that shit.
Yeah.
it's good.
It was that energy that he was just bringing. Like
Yeah.
it was a fun time, and I was in the car, so I can imagine if I was watching it.
Yeah.
When Michelle told Trump that the job he was applying for
Was black job.
those black jobs.
Yeah.
Hey, he can still get on the TV and he can still, you know what I'm saying, talk Democrat, this, them, motherfucking tilt you with that.
I don't know. I loved when he was saying that.
Obama killed him with the crowd size.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. yeah.
Killed him with that one.
Yes,
Uh,
very well too.
Did you all
Assassination
see when they
style.
brought out Walsh's football team?
Oh yeah, I heard it. Like I
That
said, I
was
was on
really
the road.
sweet to see that.
It was.
The state championship of 1999, and they all come out
Yeah.
in their jerseys, and it, like that was again just like this all American, you know, like we're all in this together kind of feeling. Like
Yeah,
you know,
and it's not gonna get too much more American than Tim Walsh. Like as
I
far as
know,
the
right?
picture that's painted for him, like policies or whatever you want to call, that's one thing. But if you're talking about an American that's for America, it should be a picture of Tim Walsh like him.
Unfortunately, that's not happening. It's all personal attack.
Right.
And that's the ridiculous aspect of it, you know.
That's
all-
fuck.
that's
I mean,
all-
what more do you
There isn't
want, man?
policy ever. It's
That's
just a personal attack.
That's all the Republican Party has. They don't have any policies to talk about, so all they can do is personally attack
And,
whoever's across the aisle.
and attack the special needs.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
You know,
crazy.
let's make it even
That
worse.
was fucking
They've
crazy.
always been like that.
You know, but that's the type of display that you're seeing, and that's why, you know, if they want to, and really,
So
I
which one
felt
was
the
that?
opposite of him. I felt like the majority of the convention was focused
this one is
more
yours.
on the message of unity and policy
Right.
Yeah.
rather
Let me get
than
that taste out of my
focusing on
mouth.
Trump. You know, I think that was minimized
Yeah.
very well. So.
because I really want to see if I can taste like it. Okay.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, so let's end this segment and let me go ahead and take care of the business. First off, so y'all can know some, shit that we ain't been telling nobody. We've been broadcasting from Mad Family Farms from pretty much day one. It's a great spot. Maybe one day y'all might be lucky enough to come out here. We might invite you. But episode 4, which what the hell did I say I was calling that?
You know what this is called?
Anyway, it's episode 4. I'll name this shit in a minute.
This is the best one.
All right, welcome back to the Pot and Politics Podcast. I'm your host, Sean G's Waters. This episode, which is episode 4, entitled I Love My Black Job, it's been sponsored by L&J's Luxury Cleaning. You can reach them at 540-448-2399. Now back to it. So, and just a treat for you guys. We have been broadcasting live from Mad Family Farms. Maybe one day you get to come out here and see how awesome it is. If you can get the invite, maybe not. Never know. But we're going to talk about right now what we were smoking on. We tried some hash from Mad Family Farm. What flavor hash was that, my brother?
This was Platinum OG from Tarantula Genetics that we grew indoor.
Okay, so it was grew indoor. Now, I'm not really sure, how much Brother Chris is going to want to tell y'all about this product of his, but I will say this ain't the first time that I smoked it with him, but for the rest of the cast that's here, it was their first time smoking it. I'm going to go ahead and get my rating off of the top, and I'm a hash smoker. We changing it up. So what did we say we was doing now? It was either going to be trash, decent, good, and stony.
Okay.
Stony is your top out. And I'm definitely going to say this hash is stony for me. Moving around. Oh, yeah, Chris, you can't.
You
can tell us about it, though.
I can't rate it because it's my own. Because I'll rate it all stony. So. But yeah, we're a hemp farm here in Central Virginia, and we grow we're Virginia certified hemp farm, and we also grow our own 4 THC. So we're able to make hash. I've been making hash for about 20 years. We really love it. I've had a passion for it since I tried it as a younger man, and I've studied all the Middle Eastern practices and really took a deep dive into it, and we're real happy with the product we have now. It's something special. If you know about traditional hash, a lot of kids now are into dabs and concentrates, so it's not seen as much. A lot of your old heads know what we're talking about. It's a special thing. It's fun. I'm glad we could share it today. It's a little off from our normal rating the different cannabis from around the area. And but it's cool that you guys let us bring it in here and let you guys try a chunk of it, because we're always super excited to have people give it a try. So tell us what you.
All right, so Ian, what you think?
Of course, I'm a bit partial to this, but if you want real hash, you have to come see Christian.
All right, so what you rating it?
I'm going 9.
You going 9? So you going with a stony? It's a stony.
Stony.
All right, it's a stony.
I'm gonna say it's stony too. It's been a long time since I smoked hash, and I'm a dab smoker. I like concentrates, wax, crumble. I like it on diamonds. So
yeah, I like
it. I haven't smoked that since I was a teenager. So yeah, I'll definitely give it a shot.
Yes, it's definitely stony as fuck.
So to make this a little educational for folks, can we talked a little bit about the process of hash making and stuff, but what is the difference between like hash and a dab and like all of that?
Okay, so with dabs and concentrate and shatter and batter, there's so many things that they have an extraction method that usually involves some kind of like butane, propane, some kind of propellant, or pressure. They also squeeze and they take pressure, and through high pressure and a little bit of heat, they press out just the oils, the essential oils.
So you're taking the bud?
Yeah, taking the bud.
And smushing
and
it.
you put it in like a micron bag, which is like a mesh bag, really fine mesh. It just lets the psychoactive material come out, which is an oil form.
Okay.
That's why you get that oily clear.
Uh-huh.
So you lose a lot of terpenes that way. You lose definitely some cannabinoids are lost. It's definitely for just getting stoned. It's like the moon. I say it's like the moonshine of cannabis.
Yeah.
The moonshine of cannabis.
Way to describe that.
If you're into alcohol, you know what that means. So hash, we do a water extraction method. where it just takes all the trichome heads off, and you're still going to retain a little bit of the plant matter, a little bit of the chlorophyll, and a lot more of the cannabinoids than you would.
Interesting.
And when I make dabs, basically I just take my bud, 2 ounce or 2 ounces, put it in a Pyrex container,
Uh-huh.
and then you take the butane.
Oh, there you
and
go.
You heat it
Uh-huh,
super
uh-huh.
fast, and then you put it after you get it to melt down to where it's just liquid. You put it in some ice real quick. Close it, don't touch it. It gets hard as a rock, and that's how
Yeah,
you get
So
it.
butane's super
like-
cold.
But you gotta be careful. You can't just use any butane because you can hurt yourself. The
Okay.
chemicals get into
It is a dangerous
wax.
process.
So-
People at home, this isn't for everyone. Don't
Yeah.
go to try it.
Don't just try it.
Go to professionals do this. You know, he knows what he's doing.
Mhm.
And making dabs out. How much dab are you getting
It'll
out
probably
of 2
drop down
ounces?
to an ounce.
How much?
An ounce and maybe a half ounce.
Okay.
It just depends.
To
It
two
That's
ounces.
more than I thought it would be.
definitely is.
Okay.
It's not a lot of return though.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
you're taking all the psychoactive materials, like I said, and just getting rid of all the organic things that don't
Okay.
have any
Okay.
kind of psychoactive value.
That's kind of cool.
And with hash, we do it with ice water. So the trichomes, when they get really, really cold, they'll break off the plant and fall.
Uh-huh.
And they'll fall in the water. And then we sift them through like 6 different layers of mesh bags
Uh-huh.
from 220 micron all the way down to 25
Okay.
micron. Your lowest microns being the very finest hash.
Uh-huh.
And we separate those different kinds, and you can see the difference between the balls, the different colors. People can't see a few Temple balls. We'll post pictures of them, but you can see the different.
Definitely post
the
that peanut
different
butter shit.
variation in colors
It's interesting.
and oiliness too.
Oh,
The finest being, that ball sit there and sweat a little oil over the next couple weeks and stuff. It's really cool. And so yeah, that's then after you water extract it, then I'll work it with heat. Not a lot of heat, just like body heat, or I have a water bottle that I'll put the hottest tap water I can put in it and roll out the hash
uh-huh.
and just keep working it until it gets to the form that you see, and then we'll make a temple ball, and then you just let it cure. You can let it cure
It's
for
amazing.
yes, we're passing the hookah tube around, and it's fun.
So
it's a passion.
if you had grown a bunch of weed for yourself and weren't using it like a lot, because I've run into a lot of new growers now that it's legal in Virginia to grow, that they'll tell me, they're like, I have so much weed, I'm never gonna smoke it all.
Yeah, it's great for preservation.
Is this a good way to
flour
like,
doesn't
preserve
last
it?
that
Yeah,
long. It'll
right.
you can freeze it. You can store it, but it definitely breaks down. It's really quick. But you can make it in a hash and use it to preserve that. Yeah, absolutely. And I use my trim. You not the bud. I
Okay.
use the secondary buds at the bottom, but mainly trim is what we use. And then that gives you something, because a lot of people just throw that away.
Right.
It has a lot of value to it.
Right,
Like
for sure.
Edibles, oils.
Uh-huh.
Don't throw away that trim.
Yeah,
It's valuable.
for sure.
All right, so that concludes the pot part of this program. Now for a small break. We'll be back at y'all in a minute. I'm gonna tell y'all about it. Welcome back to the Pot and Politics Podcast. I'm your host, Sean G's Waters. So the next thing that we are talking about is the conspiracy theory, or is it true, of fentanyl on the marijuana, especially in the 540. Now, what do y'all think? I'm gonna tell you, me personally, I've heard, stories like somebody died in Harrisonburg because they smoked some weed that had some fentanyl on it, but I never, saw it for myself. I've just heard these stories. Now, here's where I sit on it, and then I'll let everyone else talk. And we actually have someone who's done the research on this shit. So it's beautiful. But I'm a person that thinks like this. Drugs are drugs, right? Everybody knows, cocaine's going to have some cut on it. You get your meth, that's drugs. Heroin, that's drugs. Marijuana's not a fucking drug. Like, marijuana is a plant. All the hell you got to do is set it on fire and breathe. That's it.
Right.
And wait for the goodness to happen, right? So that's the one thing that's supposed to stay clean from beginning to the end of time.
Yeah.
Other than, motherfuckers, they used to put the love boat on the weed, but they knew what they was doing when they was doing that shit.
Yeah.
I'm talking about if I go to you and I see you on the street and for some reason I ain't got no weed, which that shit don't happen because I got my medical card. But if it was to happen, right? And I walk up on you and I'm like, yo, I need some weed. It's two things in Virginia that should not happen today. A, you should not sell me no garbage ass weed because it's good weed every fucking where.
Yeah.
And B, but most importantly, don't sell me nothing dirty. Normally, us people who smoke weed, we don't use drugs.
Right.
So we don't want nothing on our weed. We want our weed to be clean as fuck. So that's
What
my
organic
that's
weed?
that organic is even better. But so that that's my thought on it. The weed's supposed to be clean. I don't know if it's true or not. So let's go around the room. What do you guys think about the fentanyl on the weed shit?
All right, there's definitely a trend of things being sprayed on weed from Cali and stuff. There's terpene spray that adds terpenes that makes it smell a certain way. Apparently, there is red and blue colored weed coming out of New York that has looks like cotton candy. It has
Yeah.
color on it. I don't know why people would trust anything that looked like that but those things do exist. But the fentanyl thing. Now I've seen a lot of stories. I've thought it so deeply, and I just can't think of why someone would put something so expensive on something that costs less in order to sell the thing that costs less. I don't know why you'd want to take the potential to poison your customers. I think there's other addictive things that you could spray on there that aren't
Right.
as deadly, like opiates that would get them addicted to it. That there's just other. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
It doesn't check any of the boxes of why you would do something like that. I think it's just another propaganda tool against marijuana. And now that it's rising up so fast and it's not going back in the box, they'll just put anything out there they can to put
Fear,
a
fear,
speed
fear.
bump. And certainly scaring us into thinking they're poisoning us and our kids would be a speed bump. But this one's, yeah. And luckily we do have a fact checker here today. But let's get our
I'm gonna
points.
save him for last.
Let's let him follow up and
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think, why would you put something that's more expensive on something that's, that you could, it just doesn't make sense. But also, yeah, I mean, people who are using marijuana typically aren't using the harder drugs. So that's also something I just don't think is something that most marijuana users are looking for. So
I'm not looking for that shit.
right. So then why would, so I just don't see those, in the Venn diagram of drug use, I just don't see those, really interacting very much.
and
So
even the heavy drug user doesn't want a surprise.
right.
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 No one's
I don't think nobody wants a surprise.
no one's looking for a surprise.
So the only thing I can figure out why somebody would do that is with malicious intent. Like, why would you put fentanyl in weed? First of all, you don't know how much whoever you selling weed to is going to smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're an avid smoker, you're going to smoke 2-3 blunts a day.
Uh-huh.
And I'm assuming I don't smoke. But if you ingest that much fentanyl in a day, there's a
Die,
good chance
right.
you're going to die. So there's no way in the hell that you're selling weed and lacing it with fentanyl, hoping to get somebody addicted to your weed with the fentanyl and think that they're actually going to come back, because it's going to be, first of all, if somebody smokes weed on a regular, you know the weed how it feels like. If you catch some fentanyl, you're going to be like, this is, you automatically.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
there's no way you're
Right.
trying to keep a customer with that, because if they smoke the weed, it's got fentanyl in it. They're gonna be like, this some other shit he didn't, you know what I'm saying, lace my shit up. You're not going back to him. So any drug dealer that has any fucking sense, he's not going to try to, you know what I'm saying, cut off his business by giving somebody some bunk weed.
It has to be intentional.
Yeah, it has to. It
Yeah.
has to be
It's
malicious
interesting,
intent.
Yeah.
If it does exist. I mean, I've never heard of any case of anybody daggone getting some weed and, you know what I'm saying, it being laced with fentanyl, and next thing you know, they tombstone. Like, I ain't not stone, they tombstone. But yeah, I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, I don't think it's real. I mean, I've seen the Facebook posts of fentanyl laced weed coming out of New York and stuff like that, but I don't find it truthful. Like, if I'm selling fentanyl and weed, I can't bring you the fentanyl laced weed and be like, hey, this got fentanyl.
Yeah, right.
Give me an extra 100. Like,
Right,
nah, like,
right,
there's
yeah.
no profit to make from that. So,
Right.
like you said, I feel like it had to be malicious intent. And I don't think I've ever heard of anybody dying or even trying to smoke fentanyl. I don't
That's a
think
good
I've heard
point.
them
Smoking fentanyl. Is that even a thing?
I don't know. I don't know how to use it other than like what they do at the hospital.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a thing.
So Kentucky
yeah.
Fried Mouse is one of those things that you hear about but never see.
I've seen a
Somebody,
lot. Thank God I
somebody's
haven't seen
brother,
it.
sister's
Uh-huh.
granddaddy.
Right,
seen it.
right,
That's,
right,
That's
right.
why they think that it happened. It's
Exactly.
one of those things that probably never
All right,
happened.
let's fact check.
Now let's go
So
to the
everybody's
professional
pretty
here.
spot on this. The big thing from any business model standpoint, it's all about profit margin. So why would you add cost to a product that you're already selling? That doesn't make sense. Apparently, also you cannot smoke fentanyl and have the effects unless it reaches 900 degrees. So whether it's on weed or if it's in a vape pen, the vape pens only get to 450 degrees.
Your lighter burns
Right.
at 500.
So that's below that threshold.
Okay.
The other thing is obviously the sensationalism of it. I mean, it's news. It's a news story. It's a rating thing, and that's a lot of the narrative is driven in that for that reason alone. But the most interesting one I found was it is not on the DEA alerts list.
Ah.
No, while marijuana is still scheduled as a one,
right.
which Schedule 1 means it has no medicinal value and has high risk for addiction.
And that is
So-
Well,
false.
they're getting rid of that now.
Well,
I'm about to
they're-
say,
we've been hearing it for months that they're going to reschedule, and I know they're
Well,
trying
that's-
to.
And that's are we
Really
marijuana
That's
addicts?
going to depend on the election
You
too.
can't be addicted to
No, I didn't think I could be addicted to it. And then matter of fact, my son is like, you're addicted to weed. And I'm like, I don't think I am. But then why would I not want to smoke weed just to prove that I'm not addicted to weed because I like to smoke weed?
Well,
So where's the win? Where's the win at for me not to smoke
Right,
weed?
exactly.
That's what I'm looking for.
when I got out of prison, I was smoking at first, and then I got caught dirty urine. I just quit cold turkey that day. Like
So-
I didn't feel
Right.
like I can't make it without
Right.
weed.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know I
You
can't
can-
smoke it, so
It isn't addictive, but you can have a dependency.
Yeah.
And those two things are some people
Okay,
think
all
those
right.
are the same
We
thing.
do that. I might got it the same thing.
It might give you a pain or something.
I might have a
Addiction is chemical
dependency.
and physiological, and if you try to quit, you're going to get sick. Like getting like people that quit opiates and stuff. Dependency is quite different. It's it can be mental. It can be more as a like you get into the just into your routine of things. Just it falls underneath. It's not chemical.
Right.
You become mentally dependent. Like I'm pretty sure that I lean on weed every day.
Yeah.
I've used it for a long time, and I use it for anxiety and a lot of things. So I'm sure I do have some dependency. I don't deny that a bit. But like you said, in a day, in 5 days, it leaves your system completely in 5 days. So it's really easy not to have it in your system, unlike opiates and the other things. And that's one of the beauties of it. And you can smoke 500 pounds of it and not OD ever. No one's
Right.
ever.
Yeah, and see that's the thing because for a lot of people might not know, but I'm off of that nicotine, and that shit was real hard for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I know a lot of people say I quit cold turkey and all of this shit with the cigarettes. I've tried to quit 3-4 times already, and this time it's fine. I got like 34 days good, so I'm proud of that. 34 days good. But the point that I'm making is like I smoke weed just because like I want to catch a buzz or I want to calm my nerves down or whatever. But when I was plucking them damn Newports out that box, like I was really feeling a certain type of way until I had to smoke that fucking Newport. And I realized like that's a fucking addiction.
Mhm.
Like, and that shit had me for 20 some years solid, getting me for at least $9 a day every day
Hundreds of chemicals in there.
with all of these chemicals. And then I realized one, they stink like shit. Two, like it wasn't, I didn't smoke cigarettes. Like a lot of people say they smoke cigarettes. I didn't smoke cigarettes. I smoked Newports. That was it. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't smoking no Marlboro. Some people be like, yo, you got a cigarette and whatever it is, they're smoking. I wouldn't do that shit. So I don't know if I was addicted to the nicotine or if I was just if Newport, y'all motherfuckers got something extra in your cigarette.
Menthol.
There's studies.
Don't melt in that motherfucker.
There's studies.
This,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause the motherfuckers had this, goddamn it.
There's studies on who they target.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right.
It's the same way with the liquor companies.
Yeah.
Newports and Puma Sweats. How many songs are Newports in?
The gang of them.
Dude, I bet you it's
Gang of them.
100 songs
Right.
Newports mentioned.
Yep. They even got clothing.
Oh,
Yeah,
It was
sweatsuits
popular
and shit.
in the 90s.
I remember the sweatsuits.
That's the advertisement. You
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
so the
mine's
fentanyl
like-
thing. Yeah, the fentanyl thing. I guess we need to close on that. Is I don't think it's real. I think that we have to be careful with propaganda right now because of the popularity of
Right.
marijuana, and we're not putting it back in the box.
True.
Well, also, like when you think of like the things that we do use, like we just talked about cigarettes, alcohol, fentanyl, all of this stuff. None of those things have medicinal qualities.
Yeah, no.
Right? Maybe some red wine, maybe. But even some of that research is now coming out like, nope, actually the risk of any alcohol is so bad for your body. It's literally poison.
Correct.
Yet most people drink every day, or out at least every weekend. It's such a social thing, such a thing that everybody does is drink. And
And
when
that's one of the only drugs that you will die from.
right.
If you try to quit.
And, look
And
at
it's
the families
legal,
broken
you can-
by it.
you
Look at
can
the
buy it
people broken
everywhere.
by it, the lives destroyed,
Right.
and it's
And so when you think
it's
about
celebrated.
marijuana,
It's not just accepted. It's celebrated. It's
Right.
pushed.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
pushed. I mean,
yes.
it's
When it's
You
a
go to a
celebration,
picnic,
take this champagne.
everywhere.
Take this shot.
yes.
Yeah.
Right.
But they still want to brown on marijuana.
Right.
Shit.
I'll pull out a joint.
Oh,
Right. And so why
He's an
is
addict.
that?
he's got drugs here.
And what do you
That's
think
how
it will
things are over.
take? What do you think it'll take for us to finally get to that point where it is socially okay to sit outside of a bar or something and smoke a joint versus sitting outside? Like I would rather go to
Do it.
I think we're close.
Yes. Like I,
People
like-
just
that's what I do.
when people just say fuck it, I'm just
It's
gonna
Let's
in
go
that
to a
Oh,
place.
well, I can give y'all one.
Phase the boom.
I will give y'all one that will
Yeah.
fuck up a lot of shit. Cheyenne, Wyoming, the other day, and I've got my Kamala, Ruby, and Rosa Parks t-shirt on, right?
Nice.
Outside of the hotel, smoking a big long super joint. And let me tell you, some of these goddamn looks I was getting, son. Like I wasn't thinking though, you know what I'm saying? And then, so I was like, damn, is weed even legal here? And it's not. But listen though, but feel me though. But feel me, it's not like I was out there, hitting some crack. Parking lot over by my car. And then the one dude looking at me crazy, and I'm like, yo, I got my medical license for it. And he's like, okay.
And
And
if
like,
he
well,
was out
no.
there with a bottle of liquor.
But yeah, that's the point I'm saying though. Like, and him and his little squad was out there by their little grill with their 24 pack of fucking
Bud Light,
Keystone or whatever the hell they was drinking. I'm quite sure it's not legal to drink beer on parking lots either, right? So I'm like, motherfucker, what make y'all better than what I'm doing? I'm over here minding my business.
Right. Right.
But yeah, that was some shit. So
I seen somebody get arrested in Charlottesville because their front porch was only 10 feet away from the road. And it had to be at least 30 feet away from the road for it not to be drunk in public. He was drinking.
wow.
He was drinking on his porch. Cop came by and locked his ass up.
Yeah,
Uh-uh.
that's crazy.
Taxpayer dollars at work.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah,
I believe
that
it,
shit's
but
crazy.
that's
I can believe it,
crazy.
too.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, we got to get to moving on. This time is of an essence. All right, so we're back. I think I want to touch on what do you guys think the state of recreational marijuana sales is in Virginia right now? Where are we going with this? Other than what Youngkin is doing to fuck us all over.
I definitely encourage folks to start voting about marijuana laws. People, if they really care about marijuana being legal, they need to start voting about it. Start calling their representative about it. This is, if we want to work to take away the stigma and make it, a normal thing because it is, and it's so medicinal for so many people. We've really got to start making that our issue and advocating for it and pushing it at the ballot box, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely got to vote on it, man.
Right.
Like, I actually, the politicians, matter of fact, when you were running yourself, the first question I asked you was, how'd you feel about the marijuana laws? You can't be afraid to ask your politician who's running for whatever office, because I can tell you now that that's how I'm gonna decide if you're getting my vote or not.
That was your
It's how you
appeal.
feel about marijuana.
You among other things, but you definitely, that was appeal that caught my wife and I's attention when you were running, is that you were pro pot. You weren't gonna, you were pro legalization. And it's 3 years into it. We've been legal for 3 years, and we don't have a system set up. Youngkin said that he promised that not one piece of marijuana legislation would cross his desk, and it didn't.
And he meant that shit.
He said it when he was running, and I hear a lot of my Republican friends complaining about how they're dragging their feet, and the social equity is going away.
Mhm.
The anything under corporate is it's just not available, while corporate is running amok, delivering all over the state. We have 3 dispensaries that are pretty much just getting richer and richer and richer, and actually running really close to the edge of what the laws say as far as their delivery and their how much they have on them. And it's real discouraging when you're a farmer
Yeah.
that it's used to being able to sell what he grows at a farmer's market, and now I'm growing things that I have pride in, and things that can support my family, and I'm sitting here watching a corporation deliver
Yeah.
right down the road from me, and I can't sell
Right.
not
Right.
a bud of mine.
And I don't
And
understand.
it makes no sense. So that's why we're in the hemp game until that, at least I have a foot in the hemp game, and I am able to sell my CBD products and flower there. But man, it's really frustrating for me as a farmer. I need there to be, I'm a farmer that's also been busted for pot before, so I'm in the social equity category too.
Mhm.
And there needs to be, we need to start moving faster. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it costs too much to play the game.
It does.
$60,000
Right.
just to even get your name in the hat. And if you don't get picked, you don't get that money back. You have to have $1 million in equity. They already set it up to where, a lot of us who are doing this the best and doing this with most care and have been doing this the longest are going to get shut out.
Yep,
And
yep.
I'm not here to let that happen. You can just let it stay illegal as far as I'm concerned. And that's my stance on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I take a stance because everybody know I'm a traveling circus. I'm always somewhere. And I go into these marijuana stores, dispensaries. How are they got them set up? Like, just this week, I went into like 4 in different states. They're all the same thing, though. They got their security. They run your ID twice. What they let you buy is within the law of what they can sell, what one person can buy for the day. And they move on about their business. Some's better than others, but it's definitely a workable plan. I've seen it a bunch of places. So Virginia, what the fuck is up? I've been into every medical dispensary in Virginia, every single one of them. It's 3 different companies throughout the whole state. The newest one is, what is it, Beyond Fresh or Beyond some shit, which is like Northern Virginia, DC, Maryland shit. Those are the newest ones. Even they all still have the same format of how they work.
I think Rise and Coulter for the other 2.
Yeah, and Rising Culture, yeah.
Wow.
In Richmond, one of the rises is decent. The one in Midlothian. No, not Henrico, I mean. That one's good. The other ones are fucking trash. They don't ever have the same product. Ever. That the other, because you can look them up online.
Consistency.
And
is
where
key, man.
are they getting their products? So,
So
if
that's-
these are these corporations, where are they getting their products?
And
So,
that was the next thing I
you
wanted
can
to touch.
sometimes go into Kroger and they have the sign. It's like, this corn today is from Stewart's Draft, and
It's
you feel
all the
all good
same grower.
inside.
Mhm.
It's all the same grower, and they package it different.
Mhm.
We've seen it. It's
And
on
where's
the
that
Eastern Shore.
grower? In-
It's an
in
Eastern,
Virginia?
Eastern Shore.
No way.
Eastern
Yeah,
Shore.
yeah. Those
Oh, they've
for
got
the
the one
dispensaries here.
Okay.
Eastern
Shore.
Shore. There's
Mhm.
a set of growers out there. They have huge, massive, hundreds of acres greenhouses, and then they package each of those into cookies bottles, or into Snoop Dogg
Interesting.
bottles,
Mhm.
or and all those are being grown in the same facility.
Interesting.
But they decide who gets what strain.
Okay.
So, Cookies has his thing, so they're done. But Cookies might have made a deal with, he was in with the Runts guys. I mean, when it gets to that level, it's
Uh-huh.
all the damn same, and it's all
Right.
corporate
Right.
pot.
Right. And then
it's-
right. And so, like you were saying,
And that's
so
not speaking to quality. Like
Right.
Cookies has a fantastic, Cookies gets a lot of shit because he, for whatever reason, because we love giving people shit. But he's got a quality product, and we all love
I'll
Cookies.
tell you this shit.
And the pot is fire.
Tuesday, I was in Cookies in Hayward, California, and I copped that yada yada cherry bomb. And I'm gonna explain something to you. That shit is not a drivable pot, yo. It's not. You can't smoke that shit and drive nowhere. So it was like when my back was against the wall, I'm like, yo, I gotta start driving a little bit, and I'm not gonna have no more time to
His
stop.
readers are undeniable.
Yeah,
They're
it's
undeniable.
I rolled one big ass flip. I'll show you the picture. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna give you the picture so you can put them shits on with this
Right
show
on,
to
okay.
talk about this weed. I rolled one big ass spliff because I knew I had to burn like 5 hours at this rest area, right? I smoked that shit and slept for like 7 hours and was behind too. It's not a drivable pot at all. It's good shit. I was a hater of the when somebody gets on a certain strain's dick so hard. I'm anti that shit. But it just so happens to where I landed, Cookies was there, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going up in here. I'm getting this weed, and I'm going about my business. And it was fantastic. Everything I got was
It's
fantastic.
undeniable, man.
The best joint I ever smoked.
Gary
I'm about to
Payton.
tell you about it. Yeah, y'all gotta let me tell y'all about it. The best joint I ever smoked is called Fruit. Froot. Cherry pie was the flavor. It comes so everybody can see what like it comes in a packaging like it's a special type cigarette type shit.
crazy.
Cop that shit from Cookies as well. And my man told me, he's like, look, make sure you smoke this at nighttime. He's like, I guarantee you it puts you down. And I'm like, dude, look, I know you smoke, but you know, this kid's like 22, 23 years old, right? So I'm looking at him, I'm like, oh, what, it puts you down, Holmes? And he looked at me like I was crazy. And I told him, I said, look, I smoke. You know, I hit him with that when he was like, OG. Now, when he called me an OG, I'm like, all right, you know, he might got some respect in the game. He said, I don't care who you are. He said, if Snoop with you, Snoop gonna smoke this and he going night-night.
Yeah.
I said, how much is it? He said $15. I said, damn, for one? You know, $15 for a pre-roll in California is expensive. Out here, you know, that's a decent price, but in Cali, it's expensive for a $15 joint. I bought that motherfucker. I went to the hotel. I smoked it, and it stood on everything this kid said it did. So I definitely got to tell the truth about that.
Yeah, and we could have that. We just need, there needs to be black-owned dispensaries. They need to get on board. They need to get up because we could have, Virginia's a big state and we have a lot of tourism and we have a lot of things happening and dispensaries would be but they need to let, regular people on.
Yeah, man, they
Why
do.
make it so hard?
Like you go to New York City, you can walk into like a regular bodega or corner store, and you know they got
They got trucks.
Oh.
It's Buck Wild. They got food trucks.
nah, they shut them shits down.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, they were cool.
Oh man, we was there though when they had them shits popping. That
They're
shit was
like-
fun as hell.
You just set up a table though on the street and
Yeah.
you start. But it's always been wide open, man. My band played there a few years ago, and I just walked down in Times Square, and there every 5 steps there was somebody showing me bud. I end up getting
Yeah.
some tanks
Everywhere, man. So it's yeah.
It's always been,
I think an important. Sorry to interrupt. I think an important aspect also is the loss of tax revenue.
Yeah.
Oh my
that
God.
the state could be getting.
Right.
I mean, it's ridiculous that the Republican Party, who
They're hurting us.
they're all about the fiscal aspects, and yet he's going
Right.
to just drag his feet and swear that he's not going to have anything come across his
Right.
desk.
I mean, Ohio.
Yeah,
It's
we're
just-
okay with
it's just-
gambling
It's just
and, like-
another example of
Yeah, they're about
of the
to
many great
legalize
ironies.
gambling.
Right.
Well, they gonna legalize the gambling because that's the quickest tax in history. Like
Yeah, they're quick on getting the
you know
game.
what I'm saying? You're gonna get that money right then and there every time somebody throw the money in the fucking slot.
Well, it's not
They already
that
got theirs.
It's
Yeah.
we're still trying to get over that hump
Yeah,
in society.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
again,
well,
it's
you
going
know-
to take the boomers, them to kind of get phased out in order for
Yeah.
that to happen.
Yeah.
For society to really become more progressive.
Just for an example, on the tax thing, Ohio just opened their recreational sales 2 weeks ago. In the first week, 11.5 million in sales in a week.
damn.
This is what Youngkin is denying
Right,
you people.
right.
This
That's
is the man
money.
you voted that really wanted to be president. Let's not get this wrong. He didn't want to be governor of Virginia. He wanted to be president. And he came in here and he's been denying us 11.5 million a week
Right.
in tax revenue.
So somebody who
For our
wants
state.
to use marijuana and use marijuana safely, and I'm the same way with my food. Like I don't want to buy my my vegetables, my meat, whatever, from these big corporations where I don't know what they've put in my product, what they've sprayed on my product. So, like, what will it take for Virginia to get to the point where I can go to the farmer's market, get my fruit, my vegetables, my meat, and my organically grown marijuana, and I can talk to the farmer that grew it and say, how high am I going to get? Is this a drivable weed? Is this a weed that I can, I got to be home for? Like, so, like, we're missing out on not only the tax revenue and the money piece of it, but we're also missing out on, like, being able to, like, treat people and, like, medically help people. And, like, that's really frustrating to me that we're letting these corporations who are going to be faceless, who you can't hold accountable, just like you can't hold all of these, corporations accountable for making us so sick in other ways. Like, it's just another way to, like,
Food recalls every
right,
week.
right.
Yeah.
Every week I watch them.
Oh yeah, I just seen the other day they recalled chicken. How do you recall chicken?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
did.
well, just you throw it
Oh,
away.
what that
I'm saying,
what was
how?
that?
How do
Maryland
you
or where the
recall
fuck was
chicken?
that?
Like, are you gonna take it and clean it and put it back out? Like, what do you mean recall?
Yeah, you say come back to the grocery store and they'll give you money back.
Right.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the
Throw it out.
recall, but that don't keep you from getting sick.
Nah.
Right.
That don't keep you from.
And you gonna
read that article.
And it,
Yeah.
it takes
Yeah,
at least
that's just
it
it.
takes at least 72 days for listeria to even
If you
affect
could-
your body.
you could- it's a recall.
It happened and not even know.
That's right.
It was
For at least 72
It was
days.
lunch meat the week before.
Yes.
It was something else the week
Yep.
before.
Yep.
If something's going on out there where they're getting loose and things are making it through, I'm not real sure, but
It's dirty.
it's-
I mean, they're
it's-
using metal to process our foods, the
Mhm.
same metal, for
Right.
60, 70
Uh-huh,
years.
Right.
Plus, I've been on the eastern shore on those huge
Uh-huh.
fields, and you can drive by a tomato field that's about a mile long. You don't see no Florida Johns.
No.
I've always said that because I was, like I said, I was stationed in Cali. I was like,
Where's the bathrooms?
if you've ever been through the grapevines,
Mhm.
it's literally as far as
Yeah,
you can
I
see of grapevines, and there's workers out there picking
Yeah.
grapes, and there's no fucking portage.
Florida Johns.
So when you have a situation,
it too.
when you have a situation to where you have people getting E. coli from broccoli, and they were like, "How do you get E. coli from broccoli?" Because they use the bathroom.
Because
in
dude
the
is shitting in the
video.
broccoli.
Exactly.
Say it to you like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing is, it's like they're paid by how much they pick per hour. So they're not going to take a break and run to the bathroom. They're sitting on dirt.
Right.
The field need to be fertilized. What the fuck
Right.
you think they want?
Right.
And also, the reason why people was getting E. coli from the salad is because I believe it's either Arizona or New Mexico. One of them, they produce 90% of all our salad.
Yeah.
And that state also produces almost 70% of all our meat.
Damn.
And so they're
Uh,
right beside each other. So
uh-huh.
you got the animals shitting this waste, and then they're
Yep.
spraying
Yes,
that
yes,
water.
Where was that?
People.
Exactly.
You can a 5x5 place in your yard. You
You
can put
can't
vegetables.
grow your own. Support a local grower
I will
of
do
weed
that. You know,
and vegetables and meat and eggs and all of that.
And when
Like,
you say that, can't remember what state I was in. Lord
And
help me.
another weird thing about the meat thing is too. Y'all remember when COVID, when it was supposedly this beef shortage
uh-huh.
because the farmers couldn't. There's not enough
Enough
animals.
workers.
There's
Yeah,
not enough
workers.
animals either, like the chicken. But now all of a sudden there's a surplus. Now they have They said there's too much meat. How?
Man,
Well, during
That's 'cause
COVID,
you're
the
not
chickens
feeding
must have
us.
been born with
You're
no
not
wings
feeding-
because the goddamn chicken wing was $25.
That's what they were.
$2. Pack of chicken wings,
had this
$22.
cattle
They're
farm.
not feeding us real meat.
You know,
I don't know where the hell I was at.
lobster was a lower level poor people food.
Yeah.
100 years
Yeah.
ago.
It's a bottom feeder.
It's all trending.
it's a
You know, then
shrimp.
people start liking lobster.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you like it now.
Yeah.
Well, here, it's twice as much now.
All right, so let me say this because I already started saying it. I can't remember what state I was in, but I rode past the biggest fucking cattle farm I ever saw in my life.
Wow.
Like, it was so many cows, and I mean the fence damn near came to the street, and they was from the fence to where, as far as I could see,
That's a feedlot.
I seen them.
they just called it what?
Feedlot.
Yeah, that motherfucker was something.
They got
I'm trying to
Texas,
just say like,
that,
yo,
you driving out.
Yes, no trees.
drive-
man, and there wasn't no grass or nothing that you could see, and then like, think maybe a mile, not even a whole mile down the road. Once I got from that, and you could see it was a stream that was running, right? And then when you turn and you got away from that stream on the other side, just cornfields. And
Oh,
I'm like,
Yeah, but the thing
How
about
the fuck's that
corn,
work, though?
the thing about that corn, most of the corn is
It's feeding
To
for
feed
that.
the cows.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting there thinking, yo,
I mean,
so are
corn
these
don't have
cows doing what the fuck they
Right.
doing?
Hell no.
Ain't gonna need eating that in.
Yeah,
Just for
well,
cows.
true.
That's
If you
what it
looking
is.
for that to get nutrition,
Fattener is what it is.
Because I was sitting there like, yo, so these cows are doing whatever in this stream and then it's washing right down here to this corn. What the fuck are they doing with the corn? That's what I was
I
getting.
mean, that's how it is.
I ain't even think
They
they was
don't
cleaner
care.
than.
I mean, you got to think what 40 years ago, DuPont was dumping shit in
Exactly.
Yeah,
the
they
South
still
River.
trying to clean the river.
Yeah,
They
I
still
mean, you can't eat no fish out in there still.
Yeah.
Get that smell as a kid.
yeah.
I'll never forget that smell of Waynesboro.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Every week or so, you'd smell that chemical get dumped, and it's
Oh
the
my
whole
God.
town would reek.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Never forget it.
Yeah. 3-headed fish. I remember when I was a kid. all
Every
types
second
of
fish
shit.
you catch have lesions on it. It's still
Yeah.
like
Foam.
My God.
Foam.
It's crazy.
That,
Yep.
yeah, I wonder if the foam's still there because trout live in it now, so it's clean.
Yeah,
Trout
yeah.
are very picky; they'll die quick. So it proves it's clean now.
Yeah.
But when we were kids, that yellow foam, man,
Yeah, it
always
was no. It wasn't. It was like little. What are them things? Mud guppies and shit
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
There was like
Turtles.
yeah, and those little mad toms, catfish, things like that. Eels, the
Yeah.
weirdest eels.
Oh, my God.
What are they? Lamprey. They had
Yeah.
sap lamprey real bad because they live in
Because
nasty
they don't live in
conditions.
anything.
Yeah.
Catfish live in anything
Yeah.
too.
Yep.
But you weren't allowed to eat the fish out of there. and
No,
stuff. It was
hell
always
no.
boring.
You wasn't
Yeah.
really allowed to get in there.
But the smell, man, if you're a Gen X or a boomer in Waynesboro, then you definitely remember that smell I'm talking about.
Word.
And we were all breathing it.
All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and close up shop for the day because I believe that's all I have, unless anybody else has anything.
No, I think that hash made us wander a bit today, but
Still think it was
it's been
pretty good.
fun.
That was lively. Oh.
Let's give everybody closing remarks, and we'll take us on out. Christian, you want to start?
The DNC was fun. I'm glad that the protests weren't as violent and as volatile as they could have been. It makes me think that maybe there are peaceful solutions. That Israeli solution is not get. I mean, the situation not getting any better, but it's maybe we can use words instead of fists. You know, it's cool. I came out of that week positive. I'm excited. Here
No
we
doubt,
go.
no doubt.
Excited about this week.
Yeah.
I'll just build a hair off that. Definitely excited as well, and just looking forward to getting out and voting. And I'm glad that we have so much response in terms of volunteers.
Good one.
Yeah, I thought this week was interesting. From both sides, I definitely was surprised at how good the DNC was. Like I said, I enjoyed hearing Obama speak. I think he spoke well as Michelle. But I'm just looking forward to seeing how the country reacts either way. Like however it goes, whether Trump wins or whether Kamala wins, I'm just interested to see if we make progress or we digress. So
Rock.
Yeah, I feel like Kamala's got the momentum rolling, especially coming off of the DNC, and yeah, I hope she can keep it rolling because you can't get complacent and think, okay, I'm here now. Everything's, I'm saying, the DNC was popping because of all the guests that you had. So now we need you to take this forefront and continue the same energy. You gotta have that Obama energy. You gotta get that, you know what I'm saying? That hope and change back. We can't go back to, you know what I'm saying, where we were 3.5 years ago with Trump and make America great again when we ain't never been great for everybody.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna have to try to keep that ball rolling.
We ain't going back.
We ain't going back. If we going back, we're gonna have to fisticuffs this year.
See these mittens. We ain't going
I
back.
see his hands.
Yeah, I think I understand everybody's concern about the excitement and keeping up the energy, but early voting starts next month, like September 20th or something. I don't have the date right completely, so don't quote me on that. But it's mid-September. Early voting starts, so it's just a little bit of time before we can start voting. And then the election is like 70 days in November, or 70 days from here. So like, yes, we got to keep up the energy, but I don't think it's going to be hard because any of us can like really like push through for 70 days. That's nothing. So, as long as everybody does, everything they possibly can do to make this happen, have those awkward conversations with their friends and their neighbors and their family members, like, yeah, you have to put all it on the line this year. Like, I know I say that every year, but this year is like not a time to mess around and be like, oh, this is my time to not tell the truth and to confront truth. Because that's what I think what this election is about is truth versus lies, delusional lies, purposeful lies that are dangerous for the country. So I'm excited. We're going to keep up the energy and yeah, have a great week.
All right, and as far as for myself, I am the traveling circus. There's no telling where I will be, but you can continue to, follow my snap. Y'all will see I'm all over the country. It's crazy how I'm rolling. I'd like to give another special shout out to L&J's Luxury Cleaning for sponsoring us this week. And to Mad Family Farms for, continuously hosting us.
Yeah.
And definitely big shouts out to y'all who listen. Y'all don't have to. We appreciate y'all listening, but just know, even, for you who listen or think, this is just something we're doing for now, we're going to continue to do this and we're going to continue to be open and say what the fuck we want to say. That's going to be the difference between this podcast and any other podcast you listen to. You know that anything that come out of our mouth, we mean that shit. We stand 10 toes on it and we stand 10 toes for ourselves and each other.
That's right.
So with that being said, everybody have a good week. Wait for the next episode. It could be next week. It could be in 2 weeks. I'll let y'all know. But until then, I'm going to tell y'all about it. Peace.